Blood Like Lemonade is your first album with Sky in 7 years. During that time, she did her solo stuff. You did, you know, continued with Morcheeba. Do you think that break helped contribute to this being one of your strongest efforts?
I think my brother and I needed a break from each other as well as having a break from Sky, and Sky definitely needed a break from us. We'd been on the road together for about 10 years and in recording studios, and we'd pretty much grown up together, and it was important for us to go away and find out who we were and our own identities outside of the band. And both Paul and Sky had families and got married and everything, and we learned to do a lot of different other things outside of music, like how to be normal human beings and things like that. So that was very important. But musically, we really missed Sky. We asked her a couple of times if she wanted to sing on a record, and the general feeling was it was only worth doing if we were going to make a whole record together. So we had to kind of wait until we all felt like doing it at the same time. Sky had done a couple of solo records, I'd been doing some film soundtracks, my brother's producing other people. So it was just waiting for the synchronicity to happen. And last year it happened, and we made a record really quickly. We were really lucky that the songs just came really quickly, and we produced it and recorded it in about 3 or 4 months.
Now, Blood Like Lemonade just has to be one of the greatest album titles. How did that come about?
Blood Like Lemonade is a song that my brother and I wrote. Sky came up with a melody and Paul came up with some lyrics, and that was that was like the title of the song, and we couldn't think of a title for the album, and I wanted it to be Blood Like Lemonade because it didn't make any sense, and Sky and Paul didn't like it at first, but now I think they like it. It took a while to convince them just because it's so strange, it doesn't really mean anything, you know, but that's why I liked it in the first place.
Now, Blood Like Lemonade is your latest single and video. How did you guys come to work with Robert Forster?
He was a friend of Josh, who's the director. Josh Leonard was the director of the promo, and we decided to shoot it in California. I live in Los Angeles, and so it was relatively easy to just like get an old car and drive out to the Mojave Desert. And we were saying it'd be great if we had like you know someone with gravitas, some kind of like old actor that looked really cool. And Josh said, "Oh, I'm really good friends with Robert Forster," so we just we asked him to do it, and he said yes. It was great, and he was a really lovely guy.
Now, Paul lives in France, you live in LA, Sky lives in England. How challenging was that geographically to do your new album?
It's kind of weird that we all live in different countries. When we first started, it was very important that we all lived in London because we didn't have any money to travel. But now, you know, it's really reasonably easy for us to get together. I'll either meet Sky in London or go down to Paul's in France. We recorded most of the album between London and France. And seeing as we spend, I don't know, probably about 8 or 9 months a year on the road anyway, travelling a little bit to do some recording isn't really a big deal. I think I've probably, the last year, in 2010, I probably visited about 35 different countries, so going to 1 or 2 isn't a problem.
Now, from what I understand, Paul is not currently on the tour, correct?
Yeah.
Why is that?
My brother really hates touring. I think he enjoys playing the gigs, but he just doesn't like being away from his family for long periods of time. And when he plays live with us, he's just a scratch DJ, whereas his role in the band really is like, you know, producer and lyric writer. And you don't really have a big call for a lyric writer live on stage. It's not like he's going to come up with new things, you know, program new beats. So I think he finds the role frustrating, and he'd prefer to be at home being creative and trying to come up with some new ideas for the next Morcheeba album.
Now, you recently played 2 nights at Urban Plaza, New York City. You have a sold-out show here tonight. How validating does that feel to be, you know, 7 years gone, you come back and it's, you know, things are going this good?
Oh yeah, it's good. We're just trying to reconnect with fans, and you know, build things up a bit. I'm sure we'll be back again reasonably soon and playing a bigger place. It's good. We've been really enjoying playing the gigs. Sky and I have had, you know, some really quite ecstatic moments. Like really loved playing the old songs, playing the new songs. The crowd have been great, all singing along. It's really good. It's like being high on drugs without the drugs.
Now, you guys are pretty active on MySpace, Facebook, Twitter. Do you embrace social media, or do you feel that like kind of takes a little bit away from the mystique of, you know, the band and the shows? Is it something you feel that you have to do?
I think social media is an important way of keeping fans connected to what we're up to. I don't think it's an amazingly sexy way to listen to music. I think coming to see a band live is always like, you know, a much more rewarding experience, but it's great for people. You know, we can't go everywhere in the world, and there's a lot more Morcheeba fans around there that want to stay in touch with us, watch videos and find out what we're doing, and I think it's the best way to do that.